to coast, direct from Austin. You're listening to the Alex Jones Broadcasting Network.
From his Central Texas Command Center, deep behind enemy lines, the information war continues. It's Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
We have all this other world news going on, but this is something we can do something about. And we're going to talk about in the next segment. We're not against the science of vaccines. We understand you can learn immunity. It's that we have this, it's like nuclear power. I'd be for nuclear power if they could do it right, but it has a horrible track record. Dr. Wakefield, tell folks what's coming up in the next two long segments. I mean, this really is epic. We were talking about during the break.
Well, I want to talk about reiterate that this isn't anti-vaccine. It's about a safe, effective vaccination policy. I want to talk about a recent case, another whistleblower case about Merck, about Dr. Steve Kralin, who blew the whistle on alleged fraud in Merck's MMR vaccine lab. That there was a ruling on that in the appellate court just on Friday, and I think that's an important thing. You and I have covered it before, and I want to bring people up to date with that. And then to talk about the broader implications for what we've seen in the last 2 weeks and what has to happen next, what the public can do to make a change.
Historically, things seem to come in cascades. More will happen in a month that happens in 5 years. I think we're reaching a tipping point right now with the public, with everybody, about vaccines.
But I think the problem is that it's self-fulfilling. There are so many damaged children out there with parents saying the same things. They weren't anti-vaccine. They took their children to be vaccinated along to the doctor, and they tell the same story. Regression after immunization, asthma after immunization, allergies after immunization, insulin-dependent.
Every vet I know says don't give dogs all the shots. It causes their allergies.
The vets have been onto this for much, much longer than mainstream medicine has. They stopped giving thimerosal and vaccines many, many years before it was taken out of the majority of childhood immunizations. It's still in the influenza vaccine. It's still in the vaccine given to pregnant women and to infants of...
I'm not a medical doctor. I know mercury's not good. And if you eject it right in the blood, it goes in the brain.
That's right. It is a highly toxic substance. It had never had any right being in there. It's never been tested for safety. It was grandfathered in, and it is extremely dangerous.
How can my water supply not have 1 part per 5 million of arsenic or mercury, but they can put it in the shot?
Yeah, it is quite alarming. And I think one of the concerns is that if you took it out of all of them and you suddenly saw a precipitous fall in autism rates, then you'd have your answer. And I think it's very cynical to suggest it, but over the years, I cannot understand any other reason why you would take it out of the other vaccines and then put it straight back in the influenza vaccine.
I remember in 2004 reading the ABC News articles and others about where they had that meeting, that conference with the CDC leaders saying, we know it's doing it, we've got to cover it up. Why wouldn't you just say, we didn't know, expose it, and then it would be not 1/10 the problem of covering it up. Once you actively cover it up, you become an accomplice. I mean, if I was told this is brain damaging kids, I'd go public even if it destroyed me. I just don't get how they think they're going to cover it up. Because it's, as you said, the damage just continues. It's going to be like Nuremberg trials. These people are in deep crap.
You're right. So there's a pattern of recidivism in the CDC. When they find a signal that they don't like, they get into a room and they make that signal go away. And that's exactly what they did at the Simpson-Wood meeting with thimerosal. They had a very high risk, which they whittled down and whittled down and whittled down until they came out of that room and said there's no risk at all. Yes, there was a risk. So we see this same pattern of behavior. And Dr. Thompson said this to Brian Hooker in a telephone conversation. They go into a room and they get rid of the effect. They cannot go out there and publicly say vaccines aren't safe.
They are putting kids in front of a firing squad. How do they rationalize that? I mean, I get sad. Do you get sad when you see little kids, period, or a pregnant woman and want to warn them? Because I just do it everywhere. It's my family's sick of it.
Yeah, I say go and get informed. Read all the information. If you're going to read the CDC's website, go and read the NVIC website as well, and you'll get the counterpoint. You'll get the information. But there is no excuse nowadays not to be fully informed.
All I know is I take my children to movies, and I mean, it's like 10%, 20% is autistic kids. You see them when you come in, they're yelling through the movie. That wasn't the movies 20 years ago. I mean, it's like, I go to restaurants, I see kids that are just obviously totally brain damaged. I mean, it's just, I could just see, like it's like we had a huge war, and there's all these wounded men with their arms and legs blown off, but it's kids, Dr. Wakefield. It's like they can just see the damage everywhere. Stay with us.
I'm David Hall, founder of Diamond Gusset, where we are proud of our 100% grown and sewn American-made jeans. Whether you're out for dinner, working on the farm, or on the road, Diamond Gusset Jeans offers a full spectrum of style and sizes for any occasion. Our loyal customers enable us to continue sponsoring Liberty Media outlets. Use promo code FREEDOM to receive a 15% discount at gusset.com. In Liberty, David Hall, Diamond Gusset Jean Company.
The government's Department of Homeland Security is buying up loads of ammo. At the same time, they're restricting civilians' rights to own and purchase firearms. Can you put two and two together? Infidel Body Armor can stop every round, including hollow points and .308 sniper rounds, is reasonably priced and fully legal. But for how long? Go to InfidelBodyArmor.com, spelled INFIDEL bodyarmor.com. Infidel Body Armor. Just won't quit.
KLN, Los Angeles, Clone Radio. We play the songs that sound more like everyone else than anyone else. Clone.
Hitler took the guns. Stalin took the guns. Mao took the guns. Fidel Castro took the guns. Hugo Chavez took the guns. 1776 will commence again if you try to take our firearms. The Republic will rise again when you attempt to take our guns.
I have sworn upon the altar of God eternal hostility against every form of tyranny over the mind of man.
The answer to 1984 is 1776. You're listening to The Alex Jones Show.
We're into the second hour on this live Sunday, September 7th worldwide transmission. I cannot think of a more epic, I mean, I'm using that word 4 or 5 times today, show than what's happening right now. We have, from 2004, the CDC documents. We've shown them on screen for TV viewers, where the director of it said in meetings, I wouldn't give my grandson this. It's horrible. We've got to cover it up. Autism from the mercury, the thimerosal. We've got all these scientists coming out. We've got a new whistleblower who was basically the head of the study saying the CDC covered up data showing vaccine autism link. That's Time.com, Time Magazine. We have another ruling Friday saying lawsuits go ahead by whistleblowers exposing that they were there and told to shut up about it causing brain damage and problems. I want to be clear. Dr. Wakefield was earlier, one of the first major whistleblowers himself in a study. He was attacked over it. Now been vindicated. That we're not against the science of this learned immunity. Clearly, this is real. They've been doing vaccinations for smallpox for 500 years. It's, Benjamin Franklin talked about it. It's that these companies are out of control. They have liability protection. We've gone from autism, 1 in 30,000 to 1 in 68. That's CDC's own numbers. There's brain damaged kids everywhere. It's getting worse. They want more vaccines pushed on the public. Gardasil, killing all these people on the trials. India and Japan have banned it. We haven't. This is a scandal. These corporations want to mandate we take this stuff and not have to have it safe or even partially safe. They say safe and effective. So, Dr. Wakefield, I want to play a clip here before you recap what's happened and get into how big this is. From 2004, when this study came out that this top-level CDC doctor is exposing, we're going to name him and go through the articles in a moment, but even Time Magazine's covering this now. Again, this is a big victory, folks. I'm getting goosebumps right now. This is so exciting because I personalize all these kids and pregnant women. I worry about this. None of my 3 children have been vaccinated. And as you said, they're as healthy as a butcher shop dog. I mean, they are doing well. I want to warn people. I have goodwill. So this is a big victory. But here they are saying mercury's good for a child's brain when thousands of other studies say it electrochemically literally rots holes in your brain. Here is CBS News promoting this very study.
Mercury-containing vaccines may help, not harm kids, according to 2 new studies in the journal Pediatrics. There have been widespread concerns that mercury-based preservatives in vaccines might impair the neurological development of children. These new studies suggest that the opposite, that the preservatives may actually be associated with improved behavior and mental performance.
Mercury is associated with better learning and mental performance. Dr. Wakefield, folks can go to your YouTube channel, Austin Media, Autism Media Channel on YouTube, or autismmediachannel.com. Break it down, recap for folks how big this is. A super high-level whistleblower saying they knew and were ordered to cover it up.
Thank you, Alex. Yeah, let me just recap. So in the last 2 weeks, Dr. William Thompson, a senior scientist, an epidemiologist, statistician from the CDC, has come forward under the guidance of Dr. Brian Hooker, father of an autistic child and a vaccine safety researcher, and disclosed 13 years of cover-up of the fact that MMR vaccine is strongly associated with autism, particularly in African-American boys, and I should say children who have no pre-existing disorders, irrespective of race. So this could be children with what's called isolated autism. They don't have mental retardation as judged by IQ. They don't have a genetic basis for it, and they don't have cerebral palsy. And he said, in the words of Dr. Thompson, this is exactly the group that you would expect to see an effect in. So they've been covering it up for 13 years. They knew there was a risk, and one wonders how many children have been permanently neurologically injured in the meantime while they knew that this effect was real.
But now they're going to double down because as more whistleblowers come out, as just happened this week with another, they're all going to prison if this ever comes out. I mean, just like 5 years ago, they would say, don't give a pregnant woman any vaccines. Now they say, pregnant women need more. It's well known it causes problems with the fetus. So their answer is just say, no, it's like pumpkin pie. There just seems to be a Hitlerian commitment to this.
There is. It's almost like a religion. It's the first thing that happens is if you question vaccine safety, then you're put in a corner and said, people say you're anti-vaccine, that you clearly can't be listened to because you're not talking science. That's just a convenient way of dismissing.
I wish there was a vaccine for all this different stuff. I want to be healthy. I want my kids to be protected from tetanus and stuff. I mean, it's just the problem is they have a huge history of tetanus shots full of problems.
Yeah, it raises another issue, Alex, and that is the problem, for example, with MMR, because it's 3 viruses in one vaccine. If you gave them separately, would you have less of a problem? And we didn't see this issue when we had the single measles vaccine. That's something I've always advocated. Give parents the choice of single vaccines. And you know what happened in the UK when I suggested that. 6 months later, they took away the choice of single vaccine.
They got upset because it showed you were right.
Well, they said we need to protect the vaccine policy rather than the children. That was the net effect of what they said. So we'll take away the choice of single vaccines. Our emphasis is not necessarily to protect children from infectious disease, but to protect our vaccine policy. This is a story that came from a senior member of the Department of Health.
It's like having 1 glass of wine or 20. If you're going to do it in a cost-benefit analysis or in a risk-benefit analysis, do what's safest. Give one at a time. Watch it. Study it. No. Just give total protection. Do whatever we want.
Now, here's the problem, Alex, is once this story comes out, once public confidence in the vaccine policymakers is eroded, as it will be because Dr. William Thompson has come forward and told this story, clearly mitigating everything that we've been told over the last 20 years.
Validating everything you've said.
Then parents are going to say, we don't trust you anymore. And they will vote with their feet, they will stop vaccinating across the board, and it will be the vaccine policymakers themselves and those who have indulged in what is in effect a crime, this cover-up, who will be responsible for falling vaccine uptake rates and the return of infectious disease. But you know what? It will be blamed upon Jenny McCarthy, or it'll be blamed upon me, or it'll be blamed upon Rob Snyder or someone else who has come forward and said we have genuine concerns.
Well, when you're Jenny McCarthy or somebody and you take your child in for the 3rd round of shots, they have a convulsion and can't talk anymore. I mean, it's clear this did it. It's like saying if a Mack truck runs you over, it didn't do it. It's just, They're so committed, though. But how can the system defeat hundreds of millions of parents worldwide, tens of millions in the U.S., millions in the UK, millions in Germany, millions? How can they defeat parents who have a child that was happy and healthy after vaccines